Welcome, gamers, to this monumental review of South of Midnight. If you're here, it's because you want to know if this game, fresh out of the oven from Compulsion Games and Xbox Game Studios, is worth your time, your money, or at least a little spot on your hard drive. Imagine a swamp full of magic, strange creatures, and a protagonist with more charisma than your cousin at an open bar wedding. Sounds good, right? I'm going to tell you everything. What shines like a diamond in the mud, and what stinks like an alligator after 3 days in the sun. With a visual style that looks like it came out of a Tim Burton nightmare, and a soundtrack that will have you humming blues while dodging enemies, South of Midnight promises a lot. Does it deliver? Let's find out together, with a touch of humor and zero sugarcoating. South of Midnight takes us to the deep south of the United States, specifically to the fictional town of Prospero, Mississippi, right after a hurricane wipes everything out. Here we meet Hazel Flood, a young African-American woman with an athlete's past and a future as a swamp witch, or weaver, as they call her in the game. The story kicks off when her house floats away down the river and her mother disappears, leaving her with a mission. Find her, and along the way, discover she has magical powers to weave fate. Sounds like a cliché? A little, but the Southern Gothic vibe and local folklore give it a fresh twist that hooks you from minute one. Hazel is a character I instantly liked. She's not the typical screaming heroine or a damsel in distress. She's sarcastic, strong, and has a talking stuffed animal named Crouton that adds an adorably weird touch. Her journey isn't just physical, it's emotional. She deals with grief, family legacy, and a bunch of mythological creatures that seem pulled from a children's horror story. The narrative is divided into chapters, like a book of fables, and each one presents a new story with side characters that have more drama than a soap opera. From a giant catfish with a southern drawl to a spider woman who makes you question your life choices, the game has personality to spare. But not everything is perfect in this narrative swamp. Even though the individual stories are great, the main plot sometimes feels like an excuse to walk you through the South. Hazel spends so much time witnessing other people's problems that her own quest, rescue her mom, hello, takes a back seat. And the ending? Oh, the ending. No spoilers, but let's just say that after so much epicness, wrapping it all up with a conversation and a magical comb left me thinking. Seriously, Compulsion? It's like the script had a lazy attack right when the curtain was closing. If there's something South of Midnight does well, it's looking and sounding like a Southern Gothic fever dream. The stop-motion visual style is a gem. Characters look like living puppets, with slightly choppy movements that give it a handmade, creepy feel. The environments are a mix of dark swamps, ruined towns, and mystical biomes that look hand-painted. The lighting is a show on its own. Dim lights filtering through trees, chilling shadows, and warm colors that contrast with the eerie vibe. It's like Compulsion said, "Let's make a game so pretty no one notices if the combat's mediocre." Spoiler, they almost pulled it off. And then there's the music. By All the Alligators in Mississippi, what a soundtrack. Composed by Olivier Derivière, the genius behind A Plague Tale and Dying Light 2, this masterpiece blends blues, country, and southern ballads with a magical touch. Each chapter has its own song, and some even narrate what you're experiencing, like you're the star of a Gothic musical. There's one theme with a talking catfish that had me singing, "Oh, Catfish Man, don't you cry while jumping across the swamp." It's so good I'd say it deserves a Gamer Grammy, if that existed. The English voice acting, with that thick southern accent, is another win. Adrian Ray as Hazel is a 10 out of 10, though it hurt my soul not to have Spanish dubbing. Yes, there are Spanish subtitles, but sometimes they come early or cut off weirdly, like the game's trying to troll me. Negatives? Few, but they exist. On PC and Xbox Series X, the game runs at 60 FPS most of the time, but there are occasional drops in areas with lots of effects. Not a disaster, but if you're the kind who notices every frame, your eye's gonna twitch. And while the stop motion is great, sometimes the combat animations feel stiff, like Hazel's dancing with an invisible mannequin. Minor details, but still there. So, how does South of Midnight play? It's a third-person action-adventure with platforming, combat, and a bit of exploration. Imagine a mix of Star Wars Jedi, Survivor with Psychonauts, but with less budget and more banjos. Hazel has Weaver, powers she uses to fight, jump, and solve simple puzzles. You can double jump, glide, wall run, and throw magic threads like your Spider-Woman on a bad day. Movement is smooth and fun, especially when you're being chased and feel like Indiana Jones in a swamp. The The combat, however, is the lazy cousin of the family. You use magic needles to attack, with basic combos, a charged attack, and abilities like a push or an astral hook. Sounds cool, but in practice, it gets repetitive. There are only a few enemy types, 5 or 6 tops, and fights boil down to hit, dodge, repeat. Bosses like a giant gator or a colossal owl are more exciting, with phases and patterns that keep you alert, but they're not revolutionary. The epic music helps make those fights feel bigger than they are, but at the end of the day, the combat is functional, not memorable. Exploration is linear, with closed-off areas full of collectibles, notes that expand the lore and health upgrades. There are alternate paths and secrets, but don't expect an open world. This isn't necessarily bad. The game lasts about 10 to 12 hours and doesn't feel padded. But sometimes the levels are so pretty you want to explore deeper, and the design just says, nope, move along. There's also a skill tree, but it's basic. Upgrade your jump, glide, or combos, and that's it. It doesn't change the experience as much as I'd like. A curious detail is Crouton, Hazel's stuffed animal. In certain sections, you control him to access small areas and untangle threads, like a mini platformer. It's a charming touch, but it's not used enough to be a game changer. In short, gameplay is solid and fun, but not innovative. If you're looking for something mind-blowing like Elden Ring, this isn't your game. If you want something chill and pretty for a weekend, you're in the right place. The good. Art style, a visual masterpiece. The stop motion and environments are some of the prettiest I've seen this year. Soundtrack, a musical journey that immerses you in the deep south. If you don't like blues after this, you have no soul. Narrative, the side stories are moving and the southern folklore is well integrated. Hazel is a charismatic protagonist. Length, 10 to 12 hours with no filler. Perfect to avoid burnout. The bad, repetitive combat. It works, but it's not exciting. More enemy variety and mechanics wouldn't hurt. Weak main plot. The ending is disappointing, and Hazel's quest often gets lost in too many side stories. Limited exploration. Levels are linear and don't encourage much curiosity. Subtitles. They're in Spanish, but with weird glitches that break immersion. Skill tree. It works, but doesn't transform the experience. Performance. Some FPS drops, but nothing major. We've reached the end of the road, friends. South of Midnight is like a southern gumbo. It has delicious ingredients, art, music, narrative. But it lacks a bit of spice and gameplay to be perfect. Compulsion Games has created a game with soul, an experience that wraps you in its atmosphere and makes you smile with its little details, like a catfish telling bad jokes. But it's also an adventure that falls short where it matters most, gameplay. It's not a disaster, not at all, but it doesn't reach the heights of other Xbox exclusives like Avowed or Hi-Fi Rush. If you're on Game Pass, where it's available from day one, there's no excuse not to try it. As for buying it, I'd say it depends on how much you value art over action. For me, it was an enjoyable trip, like those vacations in a weird little town where everything's pretty but not much happens. Yet it has heart, and that's a lot nowadays. Seriously, South of Midnight left me wanting more, but also with a sense of what could have been. If they make a sequel with tighter combat and a plot that doesn't deflate, I'm all in. For now, it's a game I recommend with a smile and a meh, not bad. Drop a comment below telling me what you thought. Did you love it, hate it? If you liked this video, smash that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future reviews. Check out the video I'm leaving here on screen. I'm sure you'll love that game too. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, gamers. And remember, we are Gamespedia EX, your AI favorite video game source. I'll be back.